Welcome to Resourcing with David Obasa, RWDO. Resourcing is a program on this channel where we discuss everything from human capital to financial capital to the latest development in technology that enhance resourcefulness. This episode focuses on how to write good CV. In case you are an applicant and you want to know the things to put in your CV in order to catch the attention of reviewers, you are on the right channel. While the design of a good CV would primarily be defined by the nature of job being sought, there are some general principles that we can look at to guide us in this. Number one of all these general principles that we are going to share here is your CV should be as simple as ABC. What do we mean by being as simple as ABC? A, being accurate. B, being brief. And C, being concise. Why do you need your CV to be ABC? Your CV needs to be accurate because there is a need for consistency. You cannot, for instance, say that you were born 20 years ago and you started schooling 22 years ago. There has to be consistency in your CV. And this consistency has to do with chronology, that is the arrangement of dates. It also has to do with the facts therein. You cannot say that you are a geologist and then the next moment you are saying that you are a medical doctor without actually stating how the transition took place. So there has to be verifiable facts within the CV, and these facts would have to be consistent. So that has to do with accuracy. Now, what about brevity, brief? Your CV should be one page as a beginner. It shouldn't be more than a page. Normally, you will see beginners trying to impress reviewers. It actually does not impress reviewers for you to have bulky CV as a beginner. Your CV should be one page. However, if you are an experienced person, your CV can be 2 pages or 3 at most, except where the specification for the CV will require it to be longer. Then, conciseness. Your CV should be short without leaving any detail out of it. It should be concise. Yes, it is short. Yes, it is accurate, but it should also have all the necessary details therein inside. Number 2, your CV shouldn't be without the title Curriculum Vitae or resume. Whenever you write Curriculum Vitae as the topic of your CV or resume on top of your CV, it tells the reviewer that you do not have things to write in your CV. So you should avoid it totally. Don't title your CV Curriculum Vitae, CV, or resume. Number 3, the font and the language of your CV should be formal. Avoid flowery languages. Avoid the use of flowery designs and fonts. Everything should be formal. Normally, some will tell you to use Times New Roman or Arial. Any of these that you use will put you on the safe side. Number 4, ensure that your CV is broken into the following 7 parts. 1, personal information and biodata. That is where you put your name, your email address, your contact address, your phone number, your date of birth, very important, your personal URL link, and so on and so forth. Number 2, you put your personal profile statement. That is a statement that talks about you in general, what you have to offer. and what you are able to do and what you're looking for. The third one will be your educational background. It's necessary for you to put your educational background in chronological order, starting with the latest and then down to the oldest. Then the fourth one will be for you to write your work experience. Also, you put that in chronological order, starting with the latest or your current one if you are working at the moment, and down to the oldest if you have never worked. You do not need to write things there, except of course if you have done volunteer works or some other jobs, even if they are non-paid jobs, but you have done something that has contributed something to humanity, you can put it down, but ensure that it's done in chronological order from the latest down to the oldest. Then the fifth one, your skills and your competencies, the things that you are able to offer, you should put them down also. Then of course your other information, which is the sixth one, which will include your hobbies, your interests, the languages that you speak, and so on and so forth. And the seventh thing there will be your references. A lot of people do not put references down, and it's very important. So your references should also be there. So those are the things that we talked about under number 4. Number 5, in writing your personal profile statement or career objective, you should avoid being bogus, lengthy, or using highfalutin words. Just keep it simple. You do not need, to be boastful. Just keep it simple. Number 6, engage the use of bullet points in making your point. You need to write things, just use bullet points. It's easier for the reviewer to fish out points from there. The things they want to see, they are able to fish them out rather than making it all too wordy, putting so many words that the reviewer will have to fish, will have to go through the labor of reading before the reviewer can get to know what he or she will need to fish out from your CV. So reduce that work, reduce the labor for the reviewer by engaging the use of bullet points. And of course, number 7, except where the job specifically requires full details of work done, don't fill your CV with a lot of irrelevant details of work done. A lot of people would say, okay, I was a secretary, and of course the work of the secretary entails putting files in the shelf, waking up in the morning to greet my boss, dusting the file, these are not necessary, except where the work details are required, specifically required. It will only make your CV unnecessarily bulky and boring. Number 8, never forget to write your correct contact details. Now this is very important because many times when I have reviewed CVs of applicants, I discovered that many of them do not write the correct details. It's either maybe the phone number is wrong, or maybe the email address is wrong, or maybe the contact address is not there or wrong, or maybe the email is absurd. You should also watch out against such. Ensure you do not write absurd email addresses. Now, in creating your email, you can just make sure that your email flows from your name. For instance, your email can be davidobasa@yahoo.com. That is simple and without ambiguity. You should avoid things like call your nigger at yahoo.com. It's absurd. Or babylahod@gmail.com. It's absurd. Or babywalacolombo@aol.com. Those are absurd email addresses that tell something about you that you will not like the reviewer to see. So you should avoid them altogether. Number 9, always remember to write your date of birth on your CV. A lot of CVs that I have reviewed over the last 20 years, I have seen situations where the owners of such CVs would fail to write date of birth there. Now, there is nothing you need to hide about your date of birth. The reason is simple. For many jobs, the age requirement, there are age limits for the job specification. And so it makes the work easy for the reviewer to see whether or not you fit into that role. And in fact, for even experienced persons, there are times where the job on offer and age will be matched. That people beyond this age or below this age, certain ages, cannot apply for such jobs. So you have to ensure that the age is there, your date of birth is there. It will help the reviewer to know whether or not you're fit for the job on offer. Number 10, do not ever write reference available on request. Now, what is that? You're trying to say that you're not providing references now until requests have been made. Of course, your CV is supposed to be the request that has been made. You have been asked to present your CV. So you should be able to put 1 or 2 credible references, people who know you and can say something about you. So when you say that reference available on request, you are trying to pass a message that you do not have people that can reference you. And that is not good at all. Number 11, do not make your family members your referees. Now, I've seen a CV before, and not just that one. I've seen some CVs where people put people of the same surname as themselves as all their referees. Referee 1, referee 2, referee 3 share the same surname as them. Now, this should be avoided totally. You should have other people aside your family members that can reference you. So you should be able to get 2 to 3 referees that are not your family members, that do not share the same surname as yourself. Number 12, except where the information is specifically requested from you, you should avoid supplying information that can prejudice the reviewer against you one way or the other. Now, what are the kind of information that you supply a reviewer that could prejudice them against you? One will be your ethnicity. I have seen CVs where people write on their CV Idoma or Igala or Tiv. That is absolutely unnecessary, except you are seeking for a job that has to do with ethnicity. Again, another information that could prejudice the reviewer against you is state of origin. Except where it is required, you do not need to put your state of origin on your CV. Another one is your race. You do not need to put your race on your CV. You also do not need to put your religious affiliation. You do not need to put it on your CV. You do not need to put your gender on your CV except where it is requested specifically, because these are some of the things that could prejudice the reviewer against you, knowingly or unknowingly, knowingly to him or her, or unknowingly to him or her, unknowingly to you or unknowingly to you. So these are some of the tips that I want to share with you on Resourcing with David Obasa. I hope you have enjoyed listening to this today and getting some of these tips. Next week, we'll be talking about something else, which is getting prepared for interview as a beginner. We'll tell you tips on how to prepare for interview. Thank you for watching this episode of Resourcing with David Obasa, RWDO. We want you to please subscribe. We want you to tell other people about the channel. We also want you to make comments and also to make suggestions of what topics you would like us to discuss. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.